mesdames et messieurs, comment allez-vous? What are we doing today? We're analyzing the basics of French grip. French grip is a very comfortable grip. It's a natural grip. Most people, when you give them a pair of sticks and you hand it to them, they're going to grab them like this, matched, and kind of like that. All right? And the advantage of French grip is that you have a lot of access to finger control. It's not the most robust motion in terms of hand motion. This motion is a bigger range of motion as opposed to this motion, which is not as big. This is the original grip that I was taught by Joe Casadas, who was teaching me the Buddy Rich method. It's like this. But if I turn that grip, which is like this on the pad and upside down, I have the French grip. So it's actually good that I've learned both, because I could switch from this to this without much trouble if I'm bouncing like this or I just go to this. Now, the challenge of French grip is mastering that lesser amount of rotation you have from just your hand hinging on your wrist. So like I said, we have about that much room to move. Now, if you're interested in this one, you can refer to my video called Relaxation 1, where I go over this grip a little bit more and I go over traditional grip more. But anyway, getting back to this. So the first thing I had to teach myself, I wasn't aware I was using French grip when I first started playing. I was using it unconsciously, grabbing the stick and using my fingers like that for speed. But later on, I had to consciously look at how I can actually help people develop that, because I was getting students that were doing this. So the first thing I did was similar to what I did in Relaxation 1, which was this grip, which was coming up and down slowly like that, relaxed, to see if there was any jerky motion, and just to get the brain to develop the neurons that get the circuit going for a repetitive motion. Excuse me. I don't like to disappoint anyone, but there's no such thing as muscle memory, but it's a good way to explain it. Actually, what happens is that the more you repeat a motion or a habit, neurons are formed in the brain. It forms like a circuit, so you don't have to think about it as much. Anyway, reversing this grip into this position with the thumb on top of the stick like that, same thing, just turning it over. We're going to do the same motion. Now you're going to notice that's as far as really I can come back with this motion, as opposed to this. So I'll do the same thing. This is the first step that I will teach a new student, is to just get this motion down like this. Just take your time. Just do this repetitively on both hands as much as you can. Then what you want to do in order to get the bounce is just relax the fingers so that the stick is lying like that. We want to get this motion going. And you'll see those fingers, this finger has to remain on the stick. I know there is people that do this grip where they've got the index finger forward, and that's another way of doing that. That's a whole other thing. Right now we just want to get this going. Alright, so you want to try to get a bounce like that, where this is just doing this. So that would be your bounce. Now the fingers themselves need to be developed each individually before we add the arms. This is the way I was taught and the way I teach. We go one body motion at a time and then layer them on top of each other. So here's your bounce. Excuse me, try to keep it straight up and down in a straight line. And don't worry about speed. Speed is not important. Now at some point you will increase the speed, and then these fingers will start to take over, because this motion can only go so far. And then you will kick into this, where this is not moving much, but it should be relaxed. And then all the fingers, each one of them, contribute to this bounce. Now, as you go faster, you're going to find these fingers will play more of a role in speeding you up. So one of the things I like to do is to develop each finger separately. So I'll take the grip here, and I'll just bounce that by itself. And then I'll switch to the other finger. But But this will remain the fulcrum point of your hinge here that's going to facilitate this stick to go back and forth like that. This hinge motion on this, what we call it, the fulcrum or the grip, whatever you want to call it. And then we're here, and then we're going to switch to the ring finger, and then switch to the pinky, and then bring them all on. What I find sometimes with people with this grip is that they don't develop each individual finger like that. So again, now all of them together. Now sometimes you could really isolate that pinky like this and just work on that pinky and pull the other two fingers out. But keep this as support. Oh, almost lost the stick there. And remember, straight up and down like that. Now in my finger control exercise, this is another very important thing to develop all the fingers in this position, which is a separate video. This is where I start everybody like this, each individual finger like this. But you can only go up to your you can only go up to your ring finger, and it's hard to get the pinky on there. So that's why in this position, it's very good to work on the pinky here. All right, so then we can add arms. Once we got some of this going, then we have the whipping motion from the molar system, but in this grip it's a little different. So you see I'm coming up with the molar system. You kind of go out with the elbow and whip it back down. Here you're coming down like that. So you have this graceful motion like that. And then you can pick up speed with that. The main thing is to develop all of these different things separately, and then you put them together, and then each body motion is strong. What I find when I'm teaching anyone from an intermediate or even sometimes to an advanced, there's some aspect of the basic somewhere that maybe this finger and this finger wasn't fully developed, and there's a little lack of control, and I ask them to actually do that, or I'll see a wobble and the bounce going up and down. Anyway, I hope that helps you. So vive la France, adieu mon ami.